News starts now.
Thank you for joining us for CBS 2 News at 5:30. I'm Sarah Jacobson. A new report is raising alarm over lack of emergency medical services here in the state of Idaho. The report, which came out yesterday, shows that the state almost entirely relies on volunteers, and that even with volunteers, most communities don't have enough resources to meet their needs. Now, the data, just 18% of EMS directors report being able to maintain their EMS staffing. 65% say they've experienced medical service delays due to staffing in the last year. Now, under current Idaho law, emergency medical services, they're not considered essential, meaning there's no guarantee that every community will have access to paramedics or ambulances. And get this, nearly 7 out of 10 EMS providers in Idaho are volunteers. Well, opening day is less than a week away for Bogus Basin, and they're looking to fill positions throughout the winter season. They tell us a range of full and part-time positions they're available for the upcoming winter. Now, employees get an all-access season pass to Bogus Basin, including free transportation and discounted services. For more information, you can head to our website, idahonews.com. Well, bad news for Thanksgiving travelers between Boise and McCall. Following a rock slide, Highway 55 just north of Smiths Ferry will remain shut down through the holiday weekend. Now, Smiths Ferry cutoff will be open, but only to emergency vehicles. Now, in the meantime, crews will start clearing debris this weekend. That work is expected to take at least a week.
Well, folks, we're going to be getting a break from that thunderstorm and that precipitation we had this week. But let's take a look at right now. 45 in Boise, wind at northwest at 7 miles an hour. Looking at today's almanac, today 47, a low of 34, and normal for this time of year is 47, so we are right on track with that. Looking at tonight's low temperatures, 25 in Caldwell, 29 in Boise, 23 down in Mountain Home, 10 up in Stanley, and 21 in Sun Valley. So we are having some chilly conditions for tonight. But here's what to expect over the next few days. A nice weekend, sunny for tomorrow, some clouds, and mostly dry through Tuesday before our next weather maker makes its way through. Be sure to stick around for my full forecast.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Marcos. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, a victory for House Democrats this week as they passed the Build Back Better Act by a vote of 220 to 213. Now, it funds health care, family leave, our climate, and more. But it's not everyone's on board. Opponents are pointing to a new government report saying it adds to national debt. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar breaks down the numbers.
The Build Back Better Act advancing through the House 220 to 213.
The Build Back Better bill is passed.
Despite Republicans' attempts to delay the vote overnight,
the gentleman from California is recognized.
Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy speaking for a record 8 hours, 32 minutes.
You know, when I look at this bill, it angers me.
One Democrat, Maine Congressman Jared Golden, joining Republicans voting no.
We've got a bill now that isn't fully paid for and gives a big tax break to millionaires. There's a lot to like in this bill, but this is a serious flaw.
Democrats not heard by the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, or CBO's, report the bill in its current form would add $160 billion to the national debt over 10 years. Despite claims from the White House and Democratic leadership that it would pay for itself with new taxes on corporations and the wealthy and bolstered IRS enforcement.
And whenever somebody says, don't listen to the CBO, listen to blank, that's basically the same as someone bringing their own referee to the game.
President of the Nonpartisan Nonprofit Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, Maya McGinnis, says Democrats need to stick to their promise of not adding to the national debt, which currently sits at $28.4 trillion.
We should either scale back the size of the bill or raise the pay for it, either higher taxes or lower spending. It shouldn't be, this is so important, we shouldn't pay for it. This is so important, we must pay for it.
Changes are sure to come in the 50-50 split Senate, where there's no guarantee of a quick passage. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin insisting the bill's 4 weeks of paid family leave be taken out.
Just commit to getting it done, but let's commit to getting it done in the right way.
The bill's state and local tax deductions could also see changes, as Senator Bernie Sanders and others say the current language favors the wealthy over the middle class.
It would be absurd and hypocritical
to provide the richest people in this country with a massive tax breaks.
Any changes to the bill will alter the impact it could have on the national debt and, as Democrats say, its ability to pay for itself. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrel Nashar.
Well, happening today, Zoo Boise and St. Alphonsus Medical Center teamed up to offer a mobile COVID vaccination clinic at the zoo. Now, this is a look at the clinic earlier today. Coronavirus vaccines were available to those 12 and older. Those who got the jab received free admission to Zoo Boise for the day. And those that brought their vaccination cards also received free entry. Well, coming up on CBS 2 News, the U.S. is giving the green light on COVID boosters for all adults. A look behind that decision coming up next.
News.
The FDA and CDC are officially supporting expanded COVID boosters for all adults. Medical reporter Liz Bonus shares what's behind that decision to expand the recommendations.
Both Pfizer and Moderna's vaccine now given the FDA's blessing for booster shots. Anyone 18 and older who's at least 6 months out from initial vaccination authorized to get a third shot. The agency coming to a conclusion saying, while initial dosing is protective, as immunity wanes,
booster vaccinations that can help bump up that immunity even further and provide us even protection against mild symptomatic disease.
The FDA had previously authorized boosters of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for anyone 2 months from its initial dose. The Centers for Disease Control's Independent Vaccine Advisory Committee presented today with Pfizer data. It shows the booster is more than 95% effective at preventing severe illness from COVID-19. Moderna's trial still ongoing, also presented today, but showing similar results with no unexpected reactions so far reported. Dr. Carl Fichtenbaum helped bring the Moderna vaccine to market.
Isn't there a bit of an argument, though, that we're boosting against a strain not covered by this initial vaccine?
When you get vaccinated, within the first 4 to 6 weeks after vaccination, you have very high antibody levels, and those antibody levels are high enough that they seem to be protective even against a strain that your vaccine was not designed for.
Dr. Fichtenbaum says we don't know yet how long the higher antibody response from these booster doses will last. So I had to ask.
Does this mean now it's boosters forever?
Billion-dollar question is, what's the exact level that is needed to protect you? And no one knows that answer.
I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus reporting.
Well, it was a beautiful start to the weekend, but the sun is now setting. And the question, will the sunshine stick around? Let's bring in CBS 2's Marcos Guadarrama. Marcos.
Well, Sarah, if you've been outside today, you may have noticed we did have some sunshine, but overall we had fairly dry conditions and a break from yesterday's rain. This is a live shot right now. As you can see, we do have some snow in the mountains, and we are expecting some more rain and snow for next week. But let's look at temperatures right now. 50 out in Ontario, 44 in Caldwell, 45 in Boise, and 38 up in Idaho City. And now our low temperatures for the night, 10 degrees up in Stanley, 29 in Boise, 23 in Mountain Home, and 25 out in Caldwell. So we will have fairly low temperatures for tonight. Now, looking at our futurecast over the next 2 days, we do have fairly mild and dry conditions. As you can see, we do have some cloud coverage coming into the area, but that's all before we get into our next weather system that will be coming in on Tuesday. We're not entirely sure how much rain or we'll be getting for that, but we will let you know as soon as we find out. But here's what to expect over the next few days. Nice weekend, sunny for tomorrow, some clouds, and mostly dry through Tuesday. Now, looking at our extended forecast, 47 for tomorrow, 52 on Monday, partly cloudy on Tuesday, and partly cloudy for the rest of the week, really, and temperatures will be in the 40s for the Treasure Valley. Looking at our extended forecast, 41 for tomorrow, 45 on Monday, 36 on Tuesday, and we will be expecting some snow-rain combination for the mountains on Tuesday. Partly cloudy for the remainder of the week with some more rain-snow combination on Friday. Temperatures will be in the 30s before they warm back up into the 40s. Be sure to check out idahonews.com for more. Sarah, back to you.
Thank you, Marco. Still to come on CBS 2 News, Boise State leading the way for bullying intervention, how it's now benefiting the entire Gem State.
Sponsored by CapEd Credit Union.
Boise State is leading the charge to reduce bullying in local schools. At the helm is a local professor using her outcome-based program to empower her students. 1 in 4 students reports being a victim of bullying. But with limited resources, intervention programs were out of reach for many Idaho schools. That's when Department Chair and Professor for Counselor Education at Boise State University, Dr. Ida Midget, had an idea.
I took that as, let's work together, let's partner between your school and the university, and let's develop a program that works for you, that's simple to implement and to sustain, and that's how STACK came about.
A decade since its initial development, STACK is a bullying intervention program that empowers students through 4 intervention strategies, teaching students to act as defenders on behalf of targets of bullying.
A really important piece of STACK is that we developed it intentionally to be brief and to be sustainable for schools and for all schools.
STACK is a 90-minute training that teaches students about what bullying is and what it isn't.
We share with them the 4 STACK strategies.
Stealing the show, turning it over, accompanying others, and coaching compassion. The training, backed by a block grant, is now being implemented in Treasure Valley schools.
And we've moved into working in semi-rural areas, and lately most of our work actually takes place in rural Idaho.
And that's not all. Randomized controlled trials showed that STACK-trained students gained greater knowledge and awareness of bullying, as well as greater confidence to intervene.
Our next step is working to train teachers to support them in supporting students who intervene in bullying situations and who report bullying to them.
Well, CBS 2, along with Intermountain Gas Company, the Idaho Steelheads, and Baird's Dry Cleaners, we invite you to keep kids warm this winter by donating coats. Now, they can be dropped off at any Baird's locations or the Idaho Steelhead ticket office. And while supplies last, for each coat donated, you'll get a ticket to the Steelheads game on November 27th.
If you have any unused coats that you're not using in your closet, it doesn't matter the size, even adults, because there are bigger children in the school districts that are underage that can't get new coats. Please bring them into any of our 4 locations, and we'd love to clean them so we can distribute them back to the valley.
It's a great opportunity. And you can also, of course, other than coats, you donate money to the Keep Kids Warm Fund. Now, the fund helps pay heating bills of low-income families right here in Idaho. And since the program's inception, more than $1 million has been raised. Well, still to come here on CBS 2 News, the holidays, if you can believe it, they're almost here. How you can help families in need right here in our community. Stay close. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers, TDS Fiber, Homey, and 670 KBOI.
We so often talk about the Treasure Valley's growth, but there's also an increase in those who are hungry. More than 40,000 people in Ada County, they don't know where their next meal is coming from. And in Canyon County, more than 20,000. So CBS 2 and 670 KBOI are once again hosting the Great Idaho Food Drive. The pandemic may be easing, but families are still struggling to put food on the table. For more information, you can donate or go to our website, idahonews.com. Well, get ready for the most expensive Thanksgiving on record. The American Farm Bureau is out with an annual survey on just how much Thanksgiving dinner this year will cost. Sinclair's Atra El-Nashar takes a closer look at the numbers.
With 1 week left to shop and prepare for Thanksgiving, Americans coming to terms with this year's meal costing a whole lot more than usual.
They're expensive, and it just keeps getting higher.
An average Thanksgiving meal for 10, with enough for leftovers, will cost 14% more than it did last year, when prices were the lowest in decades and Americans were discouraged from large gatherings. The American Farm Bureau out Thursday with its annual Thanksgiving dinner survey, showing frozen pie crusts up 20%. A can of pumpkin pie filling up 7%, a half pint of whipping cream up 2%, dinner rolls up 15%, cranberries up 11%, whole milk up 7%, and the main event, a 16-pound turkey, about $1.50 a pound, 24% more than last year.
Very much an expected result of the economies that we've seen in the last couple of years.
One item that's significantly cheaper, a bag of stuffing mix, down 19%. The Bureau's senior economist, Veronica Nye, tells us the price hikes are a result of what's driving up prices across sectors, supply chain disruptions, and surging demand, especially as more Americans eat at home during the pandemic. Nye says she's keeping her eye on Washington's next move.
Increased spending out of Washington, of course, adds to the money supply, adds inflationary pressure.
There's high stakes for the White House to get inflation under control, as a new Morning Consult poll finds 87% of voters are either somewhat or very concerned about inflation. What could help ease that pressure, Nye says, is for the Biden administration to continue pulling back regulations for truck drivers and allow for more migrant farm workers, emphasizing it's farmers who are getting the short end of the stick.
As we all know, farmers and ranchers are ultimate price takers. They are not able to demand a price in the marketplace for their product.
Some good news, Nye says. There are no signs of product shortages, even though some shoppers are bracing for them.
We just make it work around our house, so we'll buy what's available.
To prevent another expensive Thanksgiving, the Farm Bureau tells me farmers are already trying to lock in supplies for next year, but the uncertainties that come with supply chain disruptions is making that difficult. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar.
Well, your local news continues throughout the evening on idahonews.com, as well as Marcos's weather. We'll see you tonight at 10 for local breaking news and weather. Between now and then, everybody, have a great rest of your night.
Take the news with you on the radio, 670 KBOI. And for news and information 24 hours a day, click on idahonews.com.